Hello guys and welcome to my first video of the Skylanders gamer. Today I'm gonna be ranking all the Skylanders games. My least favorite Skylanders game is Skylanders Superchargers. It's not a bad game at all, but all the vehicle sections everywhere really put it down for me. Excuse me for the little stir, but the characters are fine, the modes are fine, you can skip the fly and sea sections, but you can't skip the land sections, which makes it a lot less fun to play than the other Skylanders games. One of my favorite things about Skylanders Supercharged are the two guest stars, Turbocharged Drunken and Iris Bowser. They can only be used on the Wii U, but I played this game on the Wii U mostly, so that made it really fun to play as some of my favorite gaming characters. So the Supercharged mechanic is fine for me. I don't really hate it, but I also don't really like it because it doesn't really add anything to the gaming experience, only makes you do a little more damage and unlocks some more customization for your vehicle. With that said, let's move on to number 5. My number 5 is Skylanders Swap Force. I don't hate this game like the other one, but I don't like it as much. It doesn't feel like a Skylanders game. The levels are for me way too long and it isn't just fun. I just get bored halfway through and then I need to complete it to keep going on. They also replaced all the old characters with new ones. They replaced Kelly with Tessa, they replaced Hugo kind of with Chiefess, and they replaced Persephone with those two wines, which I forgot the name of. The new character I hate the most is Rufus. Every time you go back to Woodbow, he talks and talks. He never stops talking, and that's super annoying. The long levels wouldn't be as bad if there weren't as much sections that you could just skip and nothing will be left out. Like there are 3 desert levels. Who needs 3 desert levels? They are levels already an hour long if you try to 100% them. Then there are 3 one after another. It just becomes super boring. One thing I like really much is Swappers, all the new things they introduced. The Swappers are really unique gimmick and they are almost my favorite set of gimmicks if it wasn't for another one. It's really fun to swap them, and all the new Skylanders are also super cool and good, so I really like using them. I also introduced jumping, that was really nice because jumping is something every Skylander game needs in my opinion. It just makes boss fights more interesting and the gameplay overall too. A great example of that jumping increases fun of boss fights is the Mesmeralda boss fight. It's literally one of my favorite boss fights in the entire series. I like bosses that sing like Joe Axe, but she also uses jumping and everything at the same time in a really unique way that makes it really fun to play the boss fight and get through it. That's why the ice section is probably my favorite section in the entirety of Swap Force, because it ends with such an amazing boss fight. But the swap scenes that go along with the swappers are really boring. They don't really introduce anything and it's just the same game. It gets really hard if you do it on hard or nightmare mode because you get one or 2 short every single time. So it doesn't make it fun. The section gets really repetitive fast, like the sneak section is literally just walking slowly and then pressing a button to not get seen. So it's really boring. With that said, let's move on to number 4. My number 4 is Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, the third game in the series. It's here because it's kinda basic, but it did sort of for me out really well. It's a really fun game to play, but the rehash levels every so often makes it less fun to play for me. The hub world of Spyro's Adventure is also the best hub world in my opinion. It has the most to do in it and it's the biggest, but it leads in well into the levels, so you have fun exploring it while you are going to every single level, because you unlock more and more of the hub world the more levels you complete, so you always have something new to do. Then let's go on to the amazing roster that's in this game. Every single Skylander is here a classic, except for Ramshaw in my opinion, because I also always forget he exists. Summon is maybe forgotten by Activision, but Ramshaw is in my opinion the most forgotten Spyro's Adventure Skylander. He's also the most expensive to get, so that's why I didn't have him. The music of Spyro's Adventure is also really amazing. Banger tracks like Quicksilver and Main Team, also the best music in the entire Skylanders series. Also Quicksilver, man, that's one of the best levels. It's really beautiful, even with this art style that's kinda outdated by now, but it still looks good for 2010. In my opinion, this game doesn't do anything wrong at all. It is really fun all the way through and it never gets boring. But it doesn't have excel like really good points, unlike some other games that maybe do something wrong, and that's why it's only at number 4, but still an amazing game. Also, an extra thing for this game, my favorite Skylander of all time, Chop Chop, got introduced here, which gives the roster a lot of plus points. But with all that said, let's move on to number 3. My number 3 is Skylanders Giants. Many people say that just an expansion of Spyro's Adventure is, I kinda agree on, but the expansion is way better than Spyro's Adventure. You can play with all the patch pack levels in this game, so that makes it really cool to have some more levels if you already bought them. One thing that really sucks about Skylanders Giants is there's only one new Skylanders they introduced. Only one giant and one color, and that's everything. The rest are series 2 Skylanders, 3 for each element, and then 8 light cores, 1 of each element. I am kinda mixed on the series 2 Skylanders because on a water way they are just a way to make the Skylanders Giants also way bigger than it actually is. But on the other way, those give you a chance to buy old Skylanders that you might have missed in the first game to use in the new game. It's because they also work in the old game still. I only bought 2 of the series 2 figures in this game. They were Whirlwind and Lightning World and Chop Chop. Whirlwind and Lightning World I didn't have yet, so I needed to buy them, and the series 2 was the best way to do it. And with Chop Chop I saw it in the battle pack with Shroom Boom, and I really wanted Shroom Boom and a Dragonfly Cannon, so I bought it, and so that's why I have series 2 Chop Chop. This game is by far the shortest Skylanders game. It doesn't have that many levels, but it doesn't really matter because a lot of the levels are just super memorable, like Drill Axe's Big Rig, Cutthroat Carnival, Rumble Town, Welcome Village, and all those levels are super memorable. And about Drill Axe's Big Rig, it's one of the best levels in the entire 2 Skylanders, and also ends with one of the best boss fights. You literally love to see this.
You don't stand a chance, Skylander. Even though you are that round, cause the power won't drop and the killer won't stop until the city of truckers is found. On time out, Skylander. There's something up with my drill, but you better watch out. You'll be down for the count when I show you my smashing skill. What did you do, Skylander? You just won the final round. I can't keep you beat and my systems are all shutting down.
Wasn't that the best song you've ever heard? Like, it's so great. It wasn't even needed because the boss fight is really fun to play anyways, but they did it. And that's what makes Giants so special with the levels. They always go over the top and nothing gets left out. It's really fun to play. Some of my favorite Skylanders got introduced here too, like Eyeball is my favorite giant by far, not the best, but my favorite. Toffee is really overpowered and cool Skylander. That's by far my favorite Magic Element Skylander, so one of my favorite Skylanders in general. But some of the new cores also feel like luster, like Fright Rider and Sprocket. They are just really not that good and feel lackluster. So with that said, let's move on to number 2. My number 2 is Skylanders Imaginators. I know many people say that it's the worst Skylanders game, but I don't see it this way. I find it really fun to play, and all the new characters are also really fun to play and super overpowered. That makes me damn points. All the old Skylanders are undervalued. That never happened in another game. Only the senses are really good. The rest are absolutely terrible. Even got nerfed. Not even say the same power, but they got nerfed even more. So that makes you only want to use senses and imaginators. And that's my biggest problem with the game. You can't really use all the Skylanders because they are so bad. But the senses and imaginators are really fun to play, so it doesn't really matter. But that was my biggest gripe of the game. The story is also kind of terrible, but I don't really care about the story. Bringing back old villains for new Skylanders is an amazing idea. It makes you want to buy the villains because you already like them from Trap Team, for example. Mostly all from Trap Team. Like Wolfgang, Chompy made you all want them because you really like them in Trap Team. Also with Dr. Crankcase, you want them because they are an amazing personality in Trap Team. And that makes you really want to buy all the new villains senseis. But the other Skylanders also do a really good job by feeling fun and unique. He also introduced 2 guest stars in this game, Crash Bandicoot and Dr. Neo Cortex from the Crash Bandicoot series. gimmick is really fun. Make you almost get an endless amount of Skylanders because you can make your own Skylanders, which is an amazing idea for the last Skylanders game. They would have introduced it if this was the last Skylanders game. So that's an amazing idea and also one of the best gimmicks in the idea of Skylanders. It's really fun to create your own and make it look like your abomination. All the Skylanders are super expensive, like the cheapest Skylanders are already around $10, but most are at 30, around 20, 30 or 40 bucks. Then there are big Chompy Mage, Wildstorm and Robo. They are crazy expensive, like Chompy Mage is around 100 to 150 bucks, Wildstorm around 150 to 200 bucks, and Robo always around 300. That's crazy for just a single Skylander. But with that said, let's move on to my number one, which you can already guess if you have been paying attention. My number one in the Skylanders game list is Skylanders Trap Team. It's the most fun game to play with far. They have consistently good levels. They almost nothing matter, but they are the perfect length so you won't get bored. All the films you can tap are amazing. You can tap so many films with just a single trap, around max 6 and at least 4 because that's so many traps. There are so many playable characters in this game. Not only the Skylanders but also the villains. Villains are maybe on a timer, but that makes it just fun to switch back and forth. And the number one thing about this game, all the characters aren't made completely useless. They cost and maybe don't open elemental gates anymore, but they can fight and do decent damage instead of an Imaginators. Trap methods are obviously stronger than cores, but they always need to be because they were more expensive and they have cool crystal weapons. And about the new Skylanders, they introduced 2 new elements in this game, both light and dark elements. I don't have either of them, any of the Skylanders, but in later games I do. And I say the elements are a good addition to this game, even though they are really expensive nowadays to buy. Almost all of the new Skylanders are really good in this game. Some trap methods are kind of a letdown, like Headcrush and Kaboom, but all the cores are super good that I have. They're definitely not a letdown as some of the Skylanders in Imaginators are even not really that good. Dr. Neo Contact is really bad in Imaginators. This game, all the Skylanders are really decent to good. And that makes it really nice when you buy a new Skylander. You always have some power in them. The intros to other villains are really cool, with amazing voice acting for the Doom Raiders, like for the Major Dr. Crankers. The intro is probably my favorite. Hear this.
Well, hello there. My name is Dr. Crankcase, and you must be the Skylanders I've heard so much about, yes? No, really, I'm asking. Just want to make sure I'm talking to the right guy here. Oh, great, all right. Well, let's do this then.
Dr. Crankcase.
The levels in this game are really good. Some got them kind of dragon like Skylanders and in Golden Desert because they have annoying gimmicks that don't really do anything. Like Skylanders is only 3 sections. The Golden Desert, that thing when you shoot on the Chompy one, which are really annoying when you feel you need to again. But other levels are so good, like Chompy Mountain, Welcome Workshop, Chef Zeppelin, and Mystic Meal, Phoenix Sanctuary. So those are only a couple of the amazing levels in Trap Team. It's really fun to play all the way through. And don't even dare to play this game on night mode because the bosses got an extra power boost. Instead of just having the health and damage up, they also have new attack patterns. Like Chompy Mage summons a lot of shockwave, literally bullet hell on almost every boss fight except the Dreamcatcher one because that one is really too easy. And don't even get me started on the Chaos boss fight in this game. It's really so hard. It's a lot harder than Nightmare Mode. I almost wiped out my entire cast of Skylanders. I only had like 7 left when I finished it. The soundtrack in this game is also super good, like the Chef Pepper Check team. You have been hearing that one the entire time, and this one of the examples is amazing music. With the Trap Team all wrapped up, that's the end of my Skylanders ranking video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and because it's my first video, please leave a like or subscribe or leave a comment even if you enjoyed it.